Hello, Transformers fans! And today, what I have for you is the new Doctor Wu DWP30 Power of Titan Solid version. It's this new little staff from Doctor Wu. It is for Titan's Return Alpha Trion. And I pre-ordered this from TF Source. It was, I believe, $12.99. There's a transparent blue version of this. They had that one there for $10.99, I believe. But either version you get, it's going to come in two pieces for the staff, and then you get a piece to connect it all together, so you can plug it in to Alpha Trion's back so you can hold it. Just plugs into this 5mm port right here, so you can hold it and display it with him on his back. And it also comes with two different colored jewel pieces. And if you take a look right here at the back side, we have a nice little spot right here that actually matches the shape of the little jewel pieces, with the two slots for the two tabs on either side of this. So you just push this in, so you can display it with the purple jewel. I prefer the transparent blue jewel right here. Let's see, get a little bit closer to the light right here. Shines very nice. Very, very nice. I think it looks better like this. So that way, you can display him holding on to that with the light shining through that piping right there. So, it looks cool. And just pop this together. When you go to put it into his hand, you will have to have it in two separate pieces when you go to plug it into his hand. To plug it into his back, on this, you don't have to have it in two separate pieces unless you're trying to display it in like his plane mode, his alt mode. But for display purposes, you will have to pull these two pieces apart and before you put it into his hand. Alrighty. So, before we take a look at the staff up close, just have my tape measure out, and from one end to the next, from top to bottom, it is about 8 1/4 inches long. And from side to side, it's about just under 2 inches. And not only could this be used as just a mystical staff, it can double as like a double-sided axe with a spear, or as a drill, because look at that, the bottom end of this is a corkscrew or a drill bit, and this has a lot of nice molded in detailing. Starting there, it's mostly purple and silver, if you notice. Look at those, silver right here. For some of the poses, this could actually be one of the spots where you're gonna probably set his other hand. I will try to see if I can get him to hold it in two hands. Sometimes just the way the hands are curvatured on Alpha Trion, it's a little difficult. And here we go. And more silver right up in here. And yes, this is a little molded in matrix of leadership right here. And right there is the center of what would be the matrix. And this, yeah, if you take a look right here, you can tell it's got some nice metallic blue paint right up in here, right around the jewel. And this is some metallic pink paint right here. And it is painted on both sides of that. But this has lots of nice molded in detailing. And it is not the same on both sides at the top of the piece here, as you can see, because this is mainly as a display piece only. So let's take a look. Okay, see if I can get him to hold on to this for you. Alright, so like I was saying, you will have to have it in two separate pieces, so it'll slide down in his hand. There could potentially be, I mean, you can get it in his hand. It is extremely difficult to get it in his hand, because of the way his hand is shaped. It's just easier to put it in there in two separate pieces, so that way you're not forcing it into his hand, because right there, you see how the way his hand is shaped, how it's curved inwards at an angle. It's just not a bit safe. And I mean, you probably noticed the super glue right up here at this point. That was not from that happening. Yes, I did have to glue this back together, but, you know, unforeseen circumstances as they are in any situation, I had actually been trying to see if I was actually trying to pull this apart, and my kids were supposed to be watching the dog, and had no idea the dog was even in the room, and my dog jumped up onto my lap, and, you know, both hands were right up on this top piece, and it happens. It happens. Can't really blame the dog for that. Can't really blame the kids for that, but it happens. So, but if you are going to try to see if you can get this in the hands, you're going to want to pop this individually into this hand right over here, if you can get that. Which, like I said, is difficult, because, I mean, you do kind of have to flex the hand. But, I mean, you could always, I mean, that seems to be as far as it wants to go in, but I don't want to, you know, flex the plastic, force the plastic, but, I mean, you could always do this. You know, he could always hold this as, you know, like the double-sided axe, and then, like, a corkscrew sword, which is, you know, pretty cool, too. I mean, you know, dual weapons and all that, which is pretty awesome. And as I was saying, you just take this little piece right here, you plug it into, you know, well, technically his butt at an angle right there. And then you can take this, you can pop it together, and then you can store it on his back, so that way, actually let's plug it into the spot, that way it's better right there. And then you can have it as storage right there on his back so you can see it, you know, for your collection piece. And I am just going to put his lower legs into his alt mode, because this seems to be the only spot you could probably have this stored while he's in his alt mode. And seeing as these are the top, this is the top of his alt mode right here, it's going to be stored right here in this spot, and you kind of have to plug these in here like this, and yeah, that's you know, your weapon storage for alt mode right there. And as of yet, it doesn't look like there's any way to store in his lion mode or beast mode. So and that is a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, it does have this little. Let's see, I mean that almost looks like it could be a clip that could go into something, but I personally just haven't found any place where that could possibly go. So, but you can also have him holding this, and have him holding his sword, so he can have the staff and the sword too. Alright, so if you wanted to get yourself one of these, I believe you could get it from Big Bad Toy Store. I got mine from TF Source. It's a nice, cool display piece to add on to your Titans Return Alpha Trion. If any questions or comments, you can put them down below. Thanks for watching.